I'm Marty Stouffer. Do you have a favorite color? Mine is blue. I don't know exactly why, but I'd much rather wear a blue shirt than a red shirt. Maybe it's because I look at the world through blue eyes, or it could be the way the color makes me feel, calm and comfortable. This is my favorite flower, the Colorado blue columbine. It's only one lovely example of the color blue occurring in nature. There are many others. Just how many might surprise you. Join me as we explore the plant and animal kingdoms for more beautiful blues. Blue is nature's most predominant color. It's also the most magical because it's reflected in the endless expanses of sea and sky. Unlike the chemical pigment in a robin's egg, the brilliant blue sparkle of minerals results from their molecular composition or crystal structure. Minerals are the building blocks of rocks, which in turn shape the landscape. But initially, there was only sky and water. Because of this, one might speculate that the first color to appear on Earth was blue. Even the first life form was a blue-green algae. With rain providing moisture and sunshine providing energy, plant life flourished, and the world was filled with color. Most birds sing at dawn or dusk. However, the song of the bunting can be heard in meadows throughout the day. It's interesting that although the red plumage of a cardinal is due to red pigmentation, there's no blue pigment in the feathers of any bird. The color of this bunting's feathers is due to microscopic structures which reflect blue wavelengths. Unlike other members of the crow family, jays are well known for their colorful plumage, like the soft hues of this scrub jay or the bold markings of this blue jay. The bright coloration of birds is evidence of their color vision. There's little difference between the color acuity of birds and of humans, although a bird's eyesight is more sensitive to movement than ours. A bird can spot the ants below from high up in the branches of a tree. Perhaps the most well-loved bird in America is the bluebird. Although the beauty of color is pleasing to our eyes, it has a more practical purpose in nature. Its function is simply to enhance survival. Every petal, feather, hair, and scale was colored by the process of natural selection. An animal's coloration may be for concealment, species recognition, warning, or for courtship and territorial displays. Some of the best examples of how it's used to attract a mate can be seen among fish. In a Louisiana bayou, this sailfin molly flashes the bright blue patch of his tail fin and erects his large dorsal fin to arouse a female, as well as to flaunt his dominance to rival males. Nearby, an electric blue dragonfly is patrolling the stream bank for small flying insects. This predatory insect once hovered on wings spanning 2 feet. Other than size, its anatomy has changed very little in 200 million years. In the water below, the sailfin molly continues his courtship ballet. Though rare, blue coloration can also be found among reptiles and amphibians. The most widely distributed snake in North America, the common garter snake, is divided into 12 subspecies, with each one having a variety of different color phases. The dorsal coloration of this male fence lizard conceals it from predators, but his shimmering blue throat and belly present an eye-catching enticement for female fence lizards. Blue-spotted salamanders congregate to breed in murky waters at night, so their vivid blue markings have most likely evolved as warning coloration, rather than for sex recognition. Many conspicuously colored animals, like this highly noxious salamander, are simply advertising their toxicity to predators. Color provides us with clues to unlock the mysteries of the natural world. The less obvious aspects of a plant or animal's life are often revealed once we begin to question the reasons behind its coloring. In the high country of the Rocky Mountains, other examples of nature's blues can be found. Here, wild iris adorn the landscape with their vibrant blue and yellow tinged petals. Feeding on wildflower nectar is a delicate blue butterfly. These butterflies, commonly referred to as blues, have congregated in a grassy alpine meadow to mate. Interestingly, their wing patterns are mainly designed to ward off predators, rather than to attract mates. The dark wing spots focus the attention of a predator on the least critical area, the wing. This gives the butterfly an improved chance at escape. A combination of wing markings and scent is used for sex recognition. However, the markings designed for courtship reflect ultraviolet and are therefore invisible to the human eye. During copulation, a male deposits a packet of sperm, called a spermatophore, into the female's cloaca. Within 24 hours, she'll lay several hundred eggs on the larval host plant. In contrast to the lush Rockies, the arid Guadalupe Mountains of West Texas are much more barren. Here, color plays a less important role in the scheme of life, since many animals adapt to this harsh environment by restricting their activities to the cool, dark nights. One of the largest mammals inhabiting this region, the mountain lion, makes a rare appearance during the day. The kittens bounce along behind their mother as she leads them to her kill site. In general, mammals are not very colorful animals. They normally blend in with their surroundings. So it's not surprising that most mammals, with the exception of primates, have poor color vision. To attract mates, defend territories, and escape predators, they rely more on their highly developed senses and behavior patterns, rather than colorful displays. A mountain lion kitten, with its tawny, spotted coat, certainly wouldn't rank among the more colorful mammals in the world. Or would it? A closer look reveals eye color that gives new meaning to the word blue. Their blue eyes serve no adaptive function. Rather, the pigment cells of the adult's iris are absent in the newborns, then gradually develop as the kittens grow. It will be at least another 4 months before their eyes turn amber, like their mother's. Yet already the kitten's eyesight is very keen, and this alert youngster is constantly on the lookout for small prey, or for danger. The coloration of banded rock rattlesnakes in West Texas varies according to the color of the rock they live among. The blue phase of this rattlesnake generally lives and hunts among bluish-gray limestone, while the granite and basalt exposures are home to the brown phase. Unlike this collared lizard, whose conspicuous coloration most likely evolved for courtship and threat displays, rock rattlesnakes have evolved a coloration which matches their environment. Camouflage not only conceals them from their predators, but also from their prey. The two color phases are rarely found together, except where limestone formations occur next to granite outcroppings. The dry desert mountains are brightened by cactus flowers. Flowers are color-coded to attract certain types of pollinators. Blue flowers attract bees and other insects whose vision is more sensitive to blue and ultraviolet wavelengths. Wildflowers, such as this lupin, evolved bright coloration to advertise their sweet-tasting nectar. In exchange for this food, the insect is dusted with pollen, which it then spreads from plant to plant. Once pollination is completed, the next problem for flowering plants is seed dispersal. Many of them solve this problem by producing fleshy fruits, like these blueberries, which are then eaten by wildlife. The seeds are later passed through their digestive tracts. Bears consume these tasty fruit, but the bright coloration of berries primarily evolved to attract birds, whose color vision is better than that of mammals. The reason being that birds are more effective seed dispersers than mammals, since they drop the seeds much further from the parent plant. The ripening fruit attracts other bears. Unwilling to share in the bounty, the large bear stakes his claim over this blueberry patch. Many examples of nature's blues can be found in the ocean. The rocky coastline of Maine is colored by blue sea mussels. These mussels produce a sticky substance that enables them to adhere to rocks, both in and out of water. If large amounts of this superglue can be synthesized, it could be extremely useful for many types of surgical and dental repairs. Some of the oddest-shaped creatures in the sea are also the most colorful. Both anemones and sea urchins appear to be anchored to rocks. Instead, they're constantly on the move. Some of the most dazzling colors in the animal kingdom belong to tropical reef fish. The largest creatures in the sea, and in fact ever to inhabit the earth, are blue. Amazingly, blue whales feed on some of the smallest of marine creatures, tiny shrimp-like crustaceans called krill. Although we're not always aware of it, color affects our moods. In our society, blue stands for loyalty, harmony, and tranquility. But in the ocean, a silvery blue shark has anything but a calming effect on our emotions. As a rule, lobster shells are reddish-brown. However, there are exceptions. Their normal coloration is obtained from their diet of seaweed and crabs, which provide pigment for their shells. But a lobster deprived of its natural food source gradually fades to a pale blue. These crustaceans come in a variety of colors for reasons other than just dietary. 1 in 10 million lobsters may be yellow, orange, white, or even bright blue. The color of this lobster is the result of a genetic mutation. Its shell contains pigments for the primary colors, but for some unknown reason, this true blue variety is unable to synthesize its red and yellow pigments. Lobsters of any color are territorial and will fiercely guard their burrows against intruders. Although many animals must fight by tooth or claw to survive and reproduce, there are many others which use their adaptive coloration to accomplish the same thing. Yet I believe the importance of color is not only in its survival value, but also in its capacity to strengthen the ties between mankind and nature. Our sense of fascination and respect for the natural world is enriched by the many hues of blue. One of the things I love most about the great outdoors is that my senses come alive. My ears tune in to the songs of birds. My skin tingles from the slightest brush of wind, and my eyes are revived by the brilliant profusion of color. Yet of all the many hues of nature, the rich crimsons, rustic yellows, and cool greens, to me, the most enchanting of all are the beautiful blues. I'm Marty Stouffer. Until next time, enjoy our wild America. I'm Marty Stouffer, and this is Yosemite National Park, in the heart of California's mighty Sierras. Larger than the state of Rhode Island, Yosemite is home to many marvels. Here stands the grizzly giant, a 2,700-year-old giant sequoia weighing 2 million pounds. And here plummets Yosemite Falls, America's highest, leaping from granite cliffs into a cloud of mist. Among the largest collection of rock domes in the world, Half Dome rises like a cathedral. The silent grandeur of Yosemite is inspiring, yet all is not so quiet. If you listen hard, you can hear the chirping of chipmunks. Chipmunks are lively featherweight cousins of the squirrel, distinguished by their 5-lined coats, striped faces, and small size. 6 species of chipmunk inhabit Yosemite, each at a specific elevation, each adapted to a specific habitat. All are bright and cheerful. They remind us of the best in ourselves. Let's enjoy being entertained by the chipmunks of Yosemite. Our story begins in winter, when heavy snow blankets the high Sierras. Yosemite, located near the center of this massive mountain range, stretches from 2,000 feet up to 13,000 feet in elevation and catches its fair share of white precipitation. Some creatures remain active during the long, deep Sierra winter. The ermine's luxurious coat turns white, giving it the advantage of camouflage as it stalks its prey. But other animals become as dormant during the cold period as the earth itself. While streams flow icy and still, and trees are chilled by snow and wind, many smaller creatures find warmth and safety by burrowing underground. Chipmunks dig elaborate burrows up to 30 feet in length, and each chipmunk lives alone. At lower elevations, they sleep lightly, waking occasionally to feed on stored food. At higher, colder altitudes, their metabolism slows down even more, and they enter a state of true hibernation. This lasts from 2 to 5 months, until warmer temperatures waken the earth. Much of Yosemite's beauty is created by the bounty of melting snow. Yosemite Falls, highest in North America and second highest in the world, drops nearly half a mile. The western kingbird heralds the end of winter in Yosemite. On the valley floor, mule deer no longer have to paw through the snow to feed. And from their burrows under tree roots and between rocks, the chipmunks emerge, hungry after their winter's nap. Chipmunks are normally independent and solitary. Males and females each have their own territories, and even encounters during courtship are not what we would call particularly amiable. The scent of a female in estrus may attract several males to her territory. The female often leads her suitors on a merry chase. Sometimes these chases go on for hours, with the female using ingenious and amusing tactics to mislead her pursuers. Eventually, she surrenders to the male who is best able to keep up with her, or in this case, the one who refuses to accept her indifference. At lower elevations, where the climate is milder, chipmunks usually mate twice a year, in late winter and again in early summer, raising 2 litters before fall. At higher elevations, they mate only once. The pregnant female stays close to her den. She has a month in which to prepare it for a new litter. By May, the barren colors of winter begin to soften into the lush greens of spring. In higher glades and woodland groves, the chipmunks begin to forage and to groom themselves in the warm sunshine. This early in spring, before nature begins to supply a fresh abundance of food, they nibble on last year's cache of nuts and seeds. This is the time for defining territories, not for breeding purposes, but for feeding and food gathering. After a 31-day gestation period, the female gives birth to a litter of 4 babies, blind, naked, and completely helpless. She returns to the nest frequently to nurse and care for her offspring. Even before they have fur, the babies have faint chipmunk stripes marked on their skin. Yosemite is one of the most popular of our 48 national parks. Every year, nearly 3 million people from all over the world come by camper and car, bus and bicycle to enjoy its scenery and refresh themselves by contact with nature. While some are satisfied with sightseeing from the road, many of Yosemite's visitors prefer hiking, picnicking, and rock climbing in the backcountry. Here, wildflowers abound in the open meadows. From foothills to peaks, Yosemite boasts several distinct life zones, each with its own chipmunk population. At the lowest level, beginning around 2,000 feet, lives the Merriams. Between 4,000 and 7,000 feet are the long-eared, yellow pine, and Townsends. From 7,000 to 9,000 feet is found the lodgepole, and above timberline, the alpine. The Merriam's chipmunk thrives in the upper Sonoran life zone, feeding on insects, seeds, and flowers. Higher up, where wetter conditions prevail, the transition zone can support more than one species of chipmunk. Although it also occurs at lower elevations, the adaptable long-eared is at home up to 6,000 feet. Yellow pine and Townsend's chipmunks are also found in the red fir forest along this stream. The forested Canadian zone provides prime habitat for the largest of all North American chipmunks, the Townsends. The Hudsonian zone features extensive forests of lodgepole pine, home for the lodgepole chipmunk. Highest of all is the alpine zone. Here, wherever there's enough vegetation to provide food, is found the alpine chipmunk, the smallest of Yosemite's flickertails. Just as chipmunks are found at every altitude in Yosemite, so they're found in almost every type of habitat across the country. And wherever there are chipmunks, the nuts and seeds they bury and forget germinate into new grass and trees. Naturalist John Muir once said of Yosemite, "God himself always seems to be doing his best here." The vast number of visitors that come to the park each year says something about our hunger for the great outdoors. Recreational opportunities like bicycling and canoeing attract many people. But people don't come to Yosemite only for recreation. They also come to see wildlife. Some creatures, like the yellow-bellied marmot, have been fed so often they've learned to beg and seem almost tame. The golden-mantled ground squirrel, which resembles a chipmunk, sometimes keeps a reserved distance, but frequently it too ends up depending on humans. Chipmunks tend to be more skittish than squirrels about accepting handouts, especially a female with little ones dependent on her. The babies develop striped coats by the time they're 8 days old, but they remain blind for the first month of their lives. Shortly after that, they'll be out of the nest and ready to be weaned. The young chipmunks will discover many things that were unknown to their ancestors a century ago. For one thing, 100 years ago, there were few people on family outings.
Well, this ought to be enough wood.
Gee, Dad, that's a lot of wood.
Yeah.
Boy, you kids have really eaten a lot. I wish I would have packed more today.
Yeah, but we're having fun.
This food is really good. Yeah, it is.
As the mother chipmunk forages outside the den, her constant chipping encourages her offspring to follow her into the bright new world. But the little ones are reluctant to leave their comfortable nest and face the unknown.
Let's go for a walk.
Okay, we'll build a fire later.
Okay.
It's really so warm.
It really is.
Birds and mountains.
Hey, let's go over here, Dad.
Yeah, look at that over there.
After the campers leave, the mother chipmunk takes advantage of an opportunity to forage farther from the den. As her chipping becomes fainter, the babies become curious about her whereabouts. The boldest leaves the nest first. Soon, one by one, the others follow, each stalling in its own way for time and courage. Once out of the den, the babies lose no time exploring and are soon quite at home. To a young chipmunk, the man-made world is indistinguishable from the natural one. The colors may be brighter and the smells may be stronger, but there doesn't seem to be anything yet to fear among these strange mounds of rich scented food. Luckily, there is nothing to be afraid of. Like most people, this family is delighted to catch a glimpse of the chipmunks and are pleased with the idea of sharing their picnic. But if humans themselves are harmless, their mechanical extensions can often be fatal. And there are many other hazards. A circling red-tailed hawk would like nothing better than to make a meal of a young chipmunk. Chipmunks are called flicker tails for good reason, but the same tail that can be used to signal danger can also attract it. Fortunately for the chipmunks, the hawk has problems of his own. He's being dive-bombed by a kestrel. The kestrel's persistence pays off as it finally succeeds in driving the hawk away. The young chipmunks must learn quickly, for they have only a few short weeks to benefit from their mother's guidance. As summer's bounty ripens, they will not only stuff their stomachs with berries, fruit, insects, snails, and seeds, they'll learn what to tuck into their wide cheek pouches and stash away for leaner times. When summer comes to an end, so does the period of childhood for small mammals. This is a golden season in Yosemite, when the rock maples blaze brilliantly and the air is quickened with cold. This is the season of fat chipmunks, when these supreme hoarders store nuts, seeds, and other non-perishable bits of food. These mini stockpiles anticipate the coming cold, which will once again drive them into their warm underground nests for the winter. In Yosemite, silence becomes our teacher in the art of appreciation. Yet there are lessons to be learned from the liveliness of chipmunks as well as from the solitude of El Capitan. For one, we can be more alert to our surroundings, and we can also remember to lighten up, to look on the cheerful side of things. That's a way of life for the chipmunks of Yosemite. I'm Marty Stouffer. Until next time, enjoy our wild America.
I'm Hannah Stouffer, and this is my brother Luke. Ever since we were little, Dad and Mom have taught us about wild animals.
Yeah, some of them even lived at home with us.
Luke wasn't born when we had the Fishers in our house.
Oh. Don't let me.
But you remember the mountain goat.
Spike really likes his bottle. That's right.
And the bears. I love bears.
I guess baby bears are some of our family's favorite animals. For us, there's nothing quite
as cute as a cub.
Many types of babies are commonly called cubs, but this mother moose has a baby calf. And a mother mountain goat ewe will cuddle up with her baby kid.
This baby is a fawn.
A cub is a young carnivorous mammal, like these little mountain lions, but we often call them kittens.
These are wolf cubs, but sometimes I call them puppies.
And Arctic fox cubs are also called kits. Luke, do you know what kind of animals would live here?
It's wolverines.
This ferocious animal has been nicknamed skunk bear because it smells like a skunk and looks like a bear. This is obviously a mother wolverine, and her babies are definitely cubs. The cubs are born in the spring and stay with her until the fall.
They don't look so ferocious.
Don't let them fool ya. These cubs may be cute now, but wolverines will eat anything they can get their paws on, dead or alive. Many a trapper has been frustrated because one wolverine can ruin his entire trap line. They're notorious for their gluttonous behavior. That means big appetite.
That's why I like them. They're small, but they're still tough.
Well, the cubs we really want to talk about are the bear cubs. And some of the very cutest bear cubs live right up by Santa Claus, on the polar ice cap in Alaska. Even though the polar bear mother gave birth to her cubs in winter, about January, the new family won't come out of their den until springtime. Luke, did you know that newborn polar bears weigh just a bit more than 1 pound?
Wow, that's less than I weighed when I was born.
Yeah, a lot less. One paw of a big polar bear weighs as much as you do, and male bears can weigh almost a ton.
Is that bigger than Dad?
Yeah, it would be like having 10 dads.
Look, Hannah, the bigger cub is picking on the smaller one.
Kind of like me and you, huh, Luke?
Yeah,
Baby animals always wrestle and play with each other. It helps make them stronger and more prepared to deal with life in the wild. And other polar bears, even the cub's own father, can be dangerous. Polar bears really only have one predator to fear, humans. But the Arctic can be harsh, food can be scarce.
this cub's biggest problem is getting back up the hill.
Do you remember the cubs at the zoo?
Yeah, they sure are cute.
About 70% of the time, mother bears give birth to twins and then take care of them. But sometimes in a zoo, the mothers forget how. These two cubs were abandoned by their mother and raised by the zookeepers. With a lot of hard work and care, the cubs survived and grew up to be strong enough to wrestle with each other.
So sometimes I bring them out on frozen towels, lay them down, and the polar bears that's why we tell everybody we're teaching them how to sit on ice floes.
What are they eating?
Dog food and some stuff called Espelak. That's a baby formula for puppies. It has half and half and vitamin and mineral supplements added. Polar bear milk is the richest bear milk. It's very high in fat and protein and has 3 times the calories of our mother's milk. The crowds outside waiting to see the cubs could catch a glimpse of their mother diving for lunch. In the wild, polar bears are primarily carnivorous and prefer seals, but they have been known to capture small whales.
Wow, these little cubs could grow up and eat a whale?
Yeah, even though right now they like to chew on radio antenna. And they seem about as dangerous as teddy bears.
Speaking of teddy bears,
That's Grizz, the grizzly cub that Dad raised.
Come on, time for a little lunch.
Dad brought this little cub from a zoo in Oklahoma City to the Colorado mountains to raise it. He made a movie about seeing a male grizzly in the forest and thinking he could introduce the female cub when she was grown to the male. The whole point of the film was to get people thinking about bringing grizzly bears back into the Colorado wilderness.
Come on.
Bears belong in the wild.
Yes, they do. And that's what Dad thinks too. In the movie, he spent a whole year teaching Grizz how to hunt and fish and behave like a wild bear. Dad loves Grizz like a real child, but she has grown up and he knows he must leave her so she can enter her den. As the seasons pass, it won't be long until winter.
Where she will hibernate.
Yes, although hibernation for bears does not mean they are entirely inactive. Their body temperature decreases only slightly, and they could become awake and active, if disturbed, in a matter of minutes. The pine marten is still outside hunting, while a grizzly mother bear is giving birth.
But why are the cubs so small?
Since the mother is not eating, she only has her fat reserves to nourish the babies. And I don't know why, but while they're inside of her, they can't share her fat. But once they're born, they can, through nursing. So the cubs are born very small and keep growing in the shelter of the den. Meanwhile, in a nearby den, a black bear mother is experiencing the same miracle. Her cubs are even smaller.
How small?
Only half a pound, about the same as an orange. While the snow continues to fall, the cubs continue to grow. Bears mate in summer, and as many as 5 eggs are fertilized. Then, almost magically, the development of the eggs is suspended until autumn.
But why?
The number of eggs that become implanted will depend on the food supply. If the mother can find plenty of food to eat, maybe all 5 eggs will become babies. But if there is no food, then maybe none of the eggs will implant. This process helps the mother survive and ensures better chances for the cubs.
Meanwhile, back in the grizzly den, the cubs have grown.
As the days lengthen and the winter melts into spring, everything awakens. When a grizzly mother and her cubs leave the den, she is skinny and hungry from 8 months of fasting. The feisty cubs are filled with curiosity and childhood enthusiasm.
The same goes for the black bear family.
Black bears generally live in heavily wooded areas, and grizzlies prefer more open country. But occasionally, the two will meet.
And when two cubs meet, they have fun.
Grizzly cubs are born a little bigger, but they grow to be much bigger than black bears.
Sometimes black bears aren't black.
That's right. In the east, they are generally black, but in the west, they can be just about any color, even white or blue-gray. Often, the cinnamon-colored black bear is mistaken for a grizzly.
How do you tell the difference?
Their feet, for one thing. Black bear claws are short and dark-colored, while grizzly claws are much longer and light-colored. Also, a grizzly has a hump on its shoulders like a bison.
And the black bear's fur is shorter. That makes the grizzly cub look even bigger.
But not bigger than the black bear mom.
Come on over this way. We're going to go down here by the creek. Ah, look at this.
Have you ever seen a bear in the wild?
Well, Luke, back before you were born, one time when Mom and Dad took me camping, we had to walk a long way.
Walk some. I can't carry you all the way. Don't drag those feet. I'll give you a hand.
Huh?
You're getting better, though. We had to carry you.
You couldn't even carry an orange or an apple in your pack. Now you've got oranges and apples and things for Shadow, huh? These pretty orange flowers, do you know what they're called? Red, yeah, you know what these are called? Indian paint brushes.
Shadow. Did the Indians used to paint with them?
I think they did. Just like they did with dandelions to get yellow.
Shadow came along with us. Then, when Shadow and I were off by ourselves, a big, huge bear came right up to me and growled.
Oh no, were you scared?
Nah, I wasn't scared at all. Well, maybe a little bit.
Shadow!
Now I know that black bears are mainly vegetarians and much prefer blackberries to little girls.
Wow, where are all these bears?
Along the McNeil River in Alaska. During the salmon run, the fish are abundant and the bears feast. The falls create a natural barrier for the fish, which makes it easier for the bears to catch them. At first, the starved mother hoards her catch, but then she begins to share. These cubs are still nursing, and they are just starting to eat food. McNeil river bears are the same size as the smaller grizzlies and the larger Kodiak bears. People up here refer to these big coastal bears as brown bears.
It looks like our mom is having a cub.
You could put it that way, Luke. Sometimes human babies are even called cubs. And just like the bears, Mom is ready to have her little human cub in the spring. Unlike the bears, though, Dad will help love and care for this cub.
And older sisters won't move away when they're only 2.
Lucky for you, Luke. Unlike most animals, human siblings stay around and develop lifelong relationships. I was always ready to play with you, and even before you were born, I was giving you love and attention. Some believe that the many similarities between the man cub and the bear cub create an innate fear humans have of bears. Both cubs have a relatively long gestation period, a lengthy childhood spent under their mother's care, and become large, intelligent omnivores which occupy the same ecological niche. Although humans lack a keen sense of smell and lag behind bears in their alert hearing, acute vision, and surprising speed, bears cannot compete with our brains and the advantages we have established with our opposable thumbs.
I'm not afraid of bear cubs.
But in the wild, the bear's habitat and numbers are shrinking. When we had Cinnamon, Blackie, and Bear at home with us, we fed them and played with them. No, most people are not afraid of cute animal babies, while human population and encroachment is dramatically increasing. This has created competition for the same homes between people and bears.
I hope the bears don't disappear in the wild.
I think almost everybody agrees with that. Bears are an important part of our ecology, as well as popular characters in mythology, folklore, fairy tales, and legends. And besides, who can resist smiling at the playful charm of a cub?
wolverines, wolves, and bears. They're all really cute when they're babies.
I like polar bears best.
Last week you said you liked the wolverines best.
Yeah, and grizzlies.
Dad likes grizzlies, ever since he raised Grizz. Well, whichever cub you like best, they all deserve our understanding. If you live in bear country, make sure you help the bears by never feeding them or leaving out trash where they can get it.
Yeah, help the bears.
And all of nature's cubs. Remember, there's nothing quite as cute as a cub. Until next time, enjoy our wild America.
This is what springtime looks like in the northern Rocky Mountains.
What is this?
As I drive, a road-killed animal catches my eye. I'm curious, so I stop to investigate. If it's what I think it is, it's a creature that's not only rare in these northern Rockies, but throughout the country.
What is this? Mid-May. Nursing fisher. The babies would be about a month old, 6 weeks old. And in a ditch.
The orphaned baby fishers will starve unless I find them. Maybe their mother's final tracks will lead me back to the den. Having read a little about fishers, I know that the babies will surely be inside a hollow tree or log, so I bring along a hatchet. For a while, the backtracking is easy. But I don't have much time. The tracks will become harder and harder to follow in this heavy, wet spring snow. After a couple of hours, I've almost lost the trail. Where would a mother fisher make her den? Definitely in some protected place, but where? I'm just about ready to give up. Then I hear some crying. It's coming from under a downed tree. It could be the den. Hey, what are you guys doing in here? Hey! How many of... Okay. There. Hi. Ah, brother and sister. A brother and sister. You are cute. So soft. You're so soft. Let's go home. Ooh, you're cold. Let's go home.
With me, and you'll play outdoors where you should be. And Sam said, who's that?
Anybody home?
Yeah, we're up here.
Okay.
Hi. Yeah, say hi, Dad. How was your trip?
Good. I don't know what you're going to think about this.
What? Think about what?
I have a surprise.
Surprise?
Anna, have you ever seen a baby fisher before? Look at these.
Oh, they're so cute. Look.
Feel them.
Feel this one, yeah. Eee.
You know what? We get to keep them.
Oh, yeah?
Now look at this one. Which one do you like?
Do they look the same?
One is a boy and one is a girl. Uh-huh. Which one do you like?
Look at this one. They do kind of look the same, don't they?
Which one do you like, the girl or the boy?
This one's the girl, like that, and this one's the boy.
Well, we can look and see. The boy or the girl?
Go.
Do you think we should feed them?
See if he'll suck on your finger. You know how that sometimes little animals suck on your finger?
Let me show you this.
See, he's gonna suck on your finger.
Let me show you how we're going to feed them. Here, you can feed one. Although they might scratch
How do
you.
you do that now? Do you know how to put them in his mouth?
Don't cry. Alright.
Why don't you help me hold this one? Help me hold this bottle. Help me hold this bottle. Right here. Hold it up. Hold it up so the milk will lay down. Way up. Way up.
Hold it way up.
Way up like this.
Look at him. He's eating.
You want to do it? Hold it up. Hold it up more. Now hold the bottle up like this. There. You think you've ever fed a baby fisher before?
It's not easy. I think it was easier feeding you when you were a baby.
Luckily, they like the milk mixture. It's a powdered bitch's milk substitute made for puppies. Seems to work fine for fishers also.
Wow. You gotta sleep good after this.
Anna seems happy with the new members in the family, and Diane never could resist a furry little orphan.
Is he on? Was that a yawn?
Well, I've kind of already named them.
Yeah,
So,
what?
well, Porky and Spud.
Porky and Spud?
The female is Porky because they kind of eat porcupines.
Yeah.
Supposed to anyway. And the male is Spud because he looks like a fat little round potato. But not for long. They grow quickly on a bottle of milk every 3 hours. Two weeks later, both fishers are starting to look more like what they are, medium-sized members of the weasel family, somewhere between their better-known cousins, the mink and the wolverine. Now that they're getting more active, we move them into the basement.
You wanna play? Let's play.
Certain predators, like fishers, hunt by continually exploring places where small animals might hide. Curiosity is their birthright. Also curious are their many names: black fox, Pennant's cat, and of course, Fisher, the most popular one. Ironically, they don't catch fish. It's generally accepted that they earned their name by stealing fish bait from the trap lines of early fur traders.
Come here, baby. Come here, baby. Come, baby.
Although they'll grow up to be formidable hunters, right now what they need is milk. Do you think we should feed them? Can you feed it? Stand over here and help me. Help me feed this one. Here, right here. You have to put it in his mouth because he can't hold it too good. With their mother, the kits would have nursed for about 7 weeks. Then she'd start bringing meat to the den. Soon I'll begin mixing a little raw meat in with their formula.
Need some help. Yeah. Ta-da! Ta-da!
Even though they're becoming members of the family now, I remind myself that the Fishers are wild creatures and that someday they'll need to make it on their own. They're now 3 months old, just the age when their mother would start to take them out hunting.
There they go, finding some mice. A baby fisher.
Just like children, baby fishers would rather play than go to school.
Baby fisher. Hi, baby fisher.
You're going crazy.
Huh?
You'd like to run around, you see?
Well, the fishers seem to like the wilderness, Hannah. You think? Well, the next thing we have to do is teach him to hunt. Who's this? Who's in our pack?
A baby fisher.
What's he doing?
He's just looking.
He's looking? You know what he's looking for?
Mm-hmm.
He's looking for mice to eat. You know why? Fishers eat mice and squirrels and little things like that. And that's what we want to do. We want to teach him how to eat that stuff. Actually, I don't think we're going to have to teach him, really. I think we just have to find some mice. You know?
Look at Hannah.
There he goes. Where'd those fishers go? Where'd they? Are they up in the woods there?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to take a walk with the fishers, okay?
Okay.
And I want you to stay here with Mom.
Okay.
You know why?
Why?
Because I want them to learn how to hunt.
Okay.
We're going to have them learn how to hunt mice and stuff.
We'll watch Daddy, okay? And then
They lived in the house for most of their short lives, but the instinct to hunt is strong in all predators. Other animals, like these lynx kittens, grow up watching their mother hunt. The fishers will have to learn on their own. They seem ready. Fishers are the most arboreal, or tree climbing, of the weasel family. They certainly don't need lessons in that from me. So while Spud enjoys life at the top, I steer Porky in the right direction. Come on. Come here. There's going to be some mice around here. Pay attention. Get ready. Get ready. Look. Get ready. Anything else? Up, up. Come here, Porky. Come here, here's a mouse right here. Oh man, you can do better than that. Chase him. Catch him. All the excitement catches Spud's attention, and he decides to join us. Get him. Get him out. Get him out. Get him out. Get him. Get him out. Get him out. Get him. Here he is. Here he is. Here he goes. Get him here. You guy. It's over. You're gonna have to pay closer attention. Now come over here. He's hiding here. You're right here. Here's one. See him? Get him. Porky, did you see that? You see what Spud has? Look. Spud has a little squirrel. Come here, look. Look what Spud has. Spud has a ground squirrel. Now, you need to catch one of those. And both of you can eat, because I don't think he's going to share his. Come here, Spud. Oh, come here. Oh, you selfish. Spud joined the hunt late, but finishes first by making the catch of the day. Their first outing in the real wilderness is off to a good start, but they still have a lot to learn. And I have a lot more to learn about fishers and exactly how they live in the wild. As much as we like them, Porky and Spud can't stay with our family forever.
Who's getting hungry?
Of course, Hannah thinks they're the perfect playmates. She sees no reason for them to be locked up.
Come on, you guys. Come on. Come on out, you guys. Good boys. They're good boys.
Their curiosity is out of control. In the wild, it has a purpose, but in a home, it's a disaster. Come here. You're making a mess.
How about that?
Oh my god. Oh my. No, you guys, come on, Marty, Hannah. Marty, get these guys out of here. Come on. We're gonna have to get these guys downstairs and back in their cage. That's it. Not cleaning up anymore. Oh, now they're in the toilet paper and the garbage. What else? What next? That's it. Oh, sorry, but you guys have to go downstairs in your cage. This is it. I think we got to get rid of them today because they are just making too much of a mess. I can't. Look. Okay. Okay. Come on, you guys, back in your cage. That's it. Made enough of a mess until we get you a bigger cage. You just have to stay in there, okay? We'll play later.
Next week, see what life in the wild will hold for Porky and Spud.
Come on this way.
Before I can release the fishers, I still have a lot to teach them.
You guys calm down back there.
And they still have a lot to learn. I take them on trips into the mountains that will one day be their home. Each time we go deeper into the wilderness. But are the fishers too friendly for their own good? What will their curiosity get them into next?
Not the right idea. Okay. They're going to live in the woods now.
As I release them, I wonder how and if they'll survive their first winter. I'm Marty Stouffer. Join me next week. Until then, enjoy our wild America.